Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A holder attached to the gunwale of a boat that holds the oar in place and acts as a fulcrum for rowing. Small markers inserted into a surface to mark scores or define locations, etc. To hold fast or prevent from moving. The child was pinned under the fallen tree. When a wrestler's shoulders are forced to the mat. Cylindrical tumblers consisting of two parts that are held in place by springs. When they are aligned with a key, the bolt can be thrown. Axis consisting of a short shaft that supports something that turns. A number you choose and use to gain access to various accounts. Flagpole used to mark the position of the hole on a golf green. Informal terms for the leg. A club-shaped wooden object used in bowling, set up in triangular groups of 10 as the target. A piece of jewelry that is pinned onto the wearer's garment. A small, slender, often pointed, piece of wood or metal used to support or fasten or attach things. Attach or fasten with pins. Pin the needle to the shirt. Chess. Immobilize a piece. Pierce with a pin. Pin down the butterfly. A holder attached to the gunwale of a boat that holds the oar in place and acts as a fulcrum for rowing. A holder attached to the gunwale of a boat that holds the oar in place and acts as a fulcrum for rowing. Small markers inserted into a surface to mark scores or define locations, etc. A prosthesis that replaces a missing leg. A wooden pin pushed or driven into a surface. Succeed in obtaining a position. Informal terms for the leg. Fasten or secure with a wooden pin. Peg a tent. Pierce with a wooden pin or knock or thrust a wooden pin into. Regulator that can be turned to regulate the pitch of the strings of a stringed instrument. Stabilize, the price of a commodity or an exchange rate, by legislation or market operations. The weak currency was pegged to the US dollar. A holder attached to the gunwale of a boat that holds the oar in place and acts as a fulcrum for rowing. A holder attached to the gunwale of a boat that holds the oar in place and acts as a fulcrum for rowing. A holder attached to the gunwale of a boat that holds the oar in place and acts as a fulcrum for rowing. To hold fast or prevent from moving. Prohibit the conversion or use of assets. Cause to be unable to move. Hold as reserve or withdraw from circulation of capital. Convert assets into fixed capital. Make defenseless. To hold fast or prevent from moving. Prohibit the conversion or use of assets. Cause to be unable to move. The sudden storm immobilized the traffic. Hold as reserve or withdraw from circulation of capital. Convert assets into fixed capital. Make defenseless. To hold fast or prevent from moving. Catch in or as if in a trap. The men trap foxes. Something, often something deceptively attractive, that catches you unawares. The exam was full of trap questions. A hazard on a golf course. Informal terms for the mouth. Place in a confining or embarrassing position. He was trapped in a difficult situation. The act of concealing yourself and lying in wait to attack by surprise. A device in which something, usually an animal, can be caught and penned. A device to hurl clay pigeons into the air for trapshooters. A light two-wheeled carriage. Drain consisting of a U-shaped section of drainpipe that holds liquid and so prevents a return flow of sewer gas. Hold or catch as if in a trap. The gaps between the teeth trap food particles. Move downward and lower, but not necessarily all the way. The barometer is falling. The act of surrendering, usually under agreed conditions. Come into the possession of. When a wrestler's shoulders are forced to the mat. Fall from clouds. Rain, snow and sleet were falling. Lose an upright position suddenly. A sudden decline in strength or number or importance. The fall of the House of Habsburg. Fall or flow in a certain way. Fall to somebody by assignment or lot. A sudden sharp decrease in some quantity. When that became known, the price of their stock went into free fall. A free and rapid descent by the force of gravity. Touch or seem as if touching visually or audibly. Decrease in size, extent, or range. Come as if by falling. A downward slope or bend. The season when the leaves fall from the trees. In the fall of 1973. The time of day immediately following sunset. They finished before the fall of night. A sudden drop from an upright position. Come under, be classified or included. Fall into a category. Be inherited by. A lapse into sin, a loss of innocence or of chastity. A fall from virtue. A movement downward. The rise and fall of the tides. Assume a disappointed or sad expression. Be born, used chiefly of lambs. Be captured. Be cast down. Be due. Payments fall on the first of the month. Begin vigorously. Come out. Issue. Descend in free fall under the influence of gravity. Die, as in battle or in a hunt. Several deer have fallen to the same gun. Drop oneself to a lower or less erect position. Go as if by falling. Lose office or power. Lose one's chastity. A fallen woman. Move in a specified direction. The line of men fall forward. Occur at a specified time or place. Christmas falls on a Monday this year. Pass suddenly and passively into a state of body or mind. Fall into a trap. Slope downward. The hills around here fall towards the ocean. Suffer defeat, failure, or ruin. We must stand or fall. The lapse of mankind into sinfulness because of the sin of Adam and Eve. To be given by assignment or distribution. To be given by right or inheritance. Yield to temptation or sin. Cylindrical tumblers consisting of two parts that are held in place by springs. When they are aligned with a key, the bolt can be thrown. Turn on a pivot. Axis consisting of a short shaft that supports something that turns. The person in a rank around whom the others wheel and maneuver. The act of turning on, or as if on, a pivot. The golfer went to the driving range to practice his pivot. A number you choose and use to gain access to various accounts. A number you choose and use to gain access to various accounts. A rectangular piece of fabric used as a signaling device. Become less intense. Stratified stone that splits into pieces suitable as paving stones. Flagpole used to mark the position of the hole on a golf green. A listing printed in all issues of a newspaper or magazine, usually on the editorial page, that gives the name of the publication and the names of the editorial staff, etc. Plants with sword-shaped leaves and erect stalks bearing bright-colored flowers composed of 3 petals and 3 drooping sepals. Droop, sink, or settle from or as if from pressure or loss of tautness. A conspicuously marked or shaped tail. Communicate or signal with a flag. Decorate with flags. The building was flagged for the holiday. Emblem usually consisting of a rectangular piece of cloth of distinctive design. Provide with a flag. Marijuana leaves rolled into a cigarette for smoking. Stick to firmly. Be a devoted follower or supporter. She sticks to her principles. Stay put, in a certain place. Put, fix, force, or implant. Stick your thumb in the crack. Be a mystery or bewildering to. A lever used by a pilot to control the ailerons and elevators of an airplane. Be loyal to. Informal terms for the leg. Fever left him weak on his sticks. Saddle with something disagreeable or disadvantageous. Come or be in close contact with, stick or hold together and resist separation. A long implement, usually made of wood, that is shaped so that hockey or polo players can hit a puck or ball. A long thin implement resembling a length of wood. Cinnamon sticks. An implement consisting of a length of wood. He collected dry sticks for a campfire. A rectangular quarter-pound block of butter or margarine. A small thin branch of a tree. Be or become fixed. The door sticks, we will have to plane it. Cover and decorate with objects that pierce the surface. Stick some feathers in the turkey before you serve it. Endure. Fasten into place by fixing an end or point into something. Stick the corner of the sheet under the mattress. Fasten with an adhesive material like glue. Stick the poster onto the wall. Fasten with or as with pins or nails. Stick the photo onto the corkboard. Pierce or penetrate or puncture with something pointed. Pierce with a thrust using a pointed instrument. Threat of a penalty. The policy so far is all stick and no carrot. A club-shaped wooden object used in bowling, set up in triangular groups of 10 as the target. The person who is in possession of a check or note or bond or document of title that is endorsed to him or to whoever holds it. A holding device. A towel holder. A person who holds something. Celebrate by some ceremony or observation. The citizens mark the anniversary of the revolution with a march and a parade. Insert punctuation marks into. Establish as the highest level or best performance. Assign a grade or rank to, according to one's evaluation. Mark homework. Remove from a list. A symbol of disgrace or infamy. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain. A visible indication made on a surface. Some previous reader had covered the pages with dozens of marks. A person who is gullible and easy to take advantage of. A number or letter indicating quality, especially of a student's performance. She made good marks in algebra. A perceptible indication of something not immediately apparent, as a visible clue that something has happened. Something that exactly succeeds in achieving its goal. Hit the mark. An indication of damage. Formerly the basic unit of money in Germany. A distinguishing symbol. The owner's mark was on all the sheep. Apostle and companion of St. Peter, assumed to be the author of the second gospel. To accuse or condemn or openly or formally or brand as disgraceful. A marking that consists of lines that cross each other. Make small marks into the surface of. A reference point to shoot at. His arrow hit the mark. The shortest of the four Gospels in the New Testament. Put a check mark on or near or next to. Mark off the units. Be a distinctive feature, attribute, or trait, sometimes in a very positive sense. Attach a tag or label to. Notice or perceive. Mark my words. Mark with a scar. Make underscoring marks. A written or printed symbol, as for punctuation. His answer was just a punctuation mark. Designate as if by a mark. This sign marks the border. Make or leave a mark on. The scouts marked the trail. The impression created by doing something unusual or extraordinary that people notice and remember. It was in London that he made his mark. A distinguishing symbol. A writing implement for making a mark. Some conspicuous object used to distinguish or mark something. The buoys were markers for the channel. Evaluation of performance by assigning a grade or score. A distinguishing symbol. A pattern of marks. The act of making a visible mark on a surface. Dwell on with satisfaction. Be ecstatic with joy. Prove superior. A successful ending of a struggle or contest. The agreement was a triumph for common sense. To express great joy. The exultation of victory. A successful ending of a struggle or contest. A narrow victory. Pigeon that executes backward somersaults in flight or on the ground. A glass with a flat bottom but no handle or stem, originally had a round bottom. A gymnast who performs rolls and somersaults and twists, etc. A movable obstruction in a lock that must be adjusted to a given position, as by a key, before the bolt can be thrown. The center around which something rotates. A group of countries in special alliance. The second cervical vertebra serves as a pivot for turning the head. A straight line through a body or figure that satisfies certain conditions. In World War II, the alliance of Germany and Italy in 1936, which later included Japan and other nations. The main stem or central part about which plant organs or plant parts such as branches are arranged. The center around which something rotates. Put into a group. Determine the number or amount of. One of a series published periodically. The property possessed by a sum or total or indefinite quantity of units or individuals. The number of parameters is small. The number is used in calling a particular telephone. He has an unlisted number. Add up in number or quantity. A short performance that is part of a longer program. It was one of the best numbers he ever did. A symbol used to represent a number. Place a limit on the number of. Enumerate. We must number the names of the great mathematicians. A clothing measurement. A number 13 shoe. A concept of quantity involving zero and units. Every number has a unique position in the sequence. An item of clothing. She preferred the black nylon number. A numbered item in a series. Take the number 2 to the main square, then change to the number 5. A numeral or string of numerals that is used for identification and may be attached to accounts, memberships, etc. She refused to give them her social security number. A select company of people. I hope to become one of their number before I die. Give numbers to. You should number the pages of the thesis. The grammatical category for the forms of nouns and pronouns and verbs that are used depending on the number of entities involved, singular or dual or plural. In English, the subject and the verb must agree in number. Sports equipment used in playing golf. A part of a forked or branching shape. A prosthesis that replaces a missing leg. A section or portion of a journey or course. A cloth covering consisting of the part of a pair of trousers that covers a person's leg. A human limb. Commonly used to refer to a whole limb but technically only the part of the limb between the knee and ankle. A structure in animals that is similar to a human leg and used for locomotion. Nautical. The distance traveled by a sailing vessel on a single tack. One of the supports for a piece of furniture. The limb of an animal used for food. Equipment used in bowling. An adornment, as a bracelet or ring or necklace, made of precious metals and set with gems, or imitation gems.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.